So Jesper, congrats on opening the IFFR 2018 yesterday. It was a filled cinema. There were a lot of people. Was it as you expected? How were the reactions? What did you think of them?
I mean, first of all, thank you. I think it was fantastic, and I really enjoyed just seeing people quiet down more and more throughout the screening, and kind of felt like maybe they even letting go a little bit of sort of the room that you're in, and just sort of transporting into that subjective experience of, you know, seeing it through Jimmy's eyes. So it was great. It was really great. A little bit overwhelming, and I think I haven't really processed what
I don't know how many
details
people,
mean,
but maybe
I'm
1,000. I don't know.
I think it was like 1,600. Like
1,600.
Yeah,
wow.
somebody told me like 1,600. It's a lot of people to have for the
at
first.
once. Yeah.
And also like the first. I mean, I didn't screen it to an audience at all before this, so it's like going from almost the editing to that. But it's that's a thrill.
What I really liked, because I was in the audience, of course, but I really liked that I felt that we were experiencing the same waves of emotions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could sense that too. I could sense that. That's what I was saying before. Like it would quiet down, and then you would feel like that there's a collective experience of emotions going on. Maybe not 100%, but enough that it's the majority, and that. That's a good thing. A bad thing when it's like you feel like it's people are going in different directions. I guess, but it was a really interesting and nice atmosphere.
And because we have all seen, of course, the images of the refugee crisis and the refugees fleeing Syria and other countries in the past years. And what was the moment that you decided that you wanted to make a film about this topic?
I started out wanting to look at the world from a different perspective, and I hadn't decided what sort of I hadn't found the sort of the setting for it, but I wanted a shift in just perspective.
But you already had that feeling before the war in Syria started?
Yeah, a little bit, but I started with looking at just sort of how I wanted to make a whole feature film about sort of a child. I hadn't decided the age yet, but a child who sort of experiences something that is, you know, complex and maybe familiar to a grown-up audience, but to the child, it's nothing that he understands really. And what do we learn from seeing it like that? And then in 2015, when there was coming a lot of people from Syria and Iraq and to Europe and Northern Europe, it felt like the right thing to sort of pay forward, if you will, like to look at that and just do kind of a shifting perspective and a version of that, just to make us think.
Yeah, and was it from the beginning clear for you that you wanted to use your own son in the film?
Yeah, it was. I started doing just sort of development stuff, just developing the idea and filming him when he was very young, just for a few days here and there.
And you filmed him yourself?
I did in the beginning, but then when I went into writing the script, we built more of a traditional, like, I have a great DP, Måns Månsson, who also is a director, and just sort of, we found a great way to build it, I think, to make it familiar, so that my son and myself, we could be in front of the camera and also be relaxed enough to just sort of exist in the settings that we were setting up.
Yeah, that was very special, I felt, because there were a lot of scenes that you felt they were so authentic, even though it's a complete different setting and it's a complete different world you're projecting, but you felt authenticity.
Right. Yeah. I guess it's also because we kind of we always worked with kind of a lot of freedom to when approaching a scene or a new day, and we would gradually go into do the script and the few lines that are in there. But it was also meant to be like that to begin with. I actually wrote on the cover of the script that these are just suggestions of dialogue for the children that are in this story, and I'm sure that they're going to come up with better stuff. Just so everybody knew to begin with that sort of that's how we're going to approach it, and then it's a blessing to kind of a blessing to work with children, I think, or sort of have them in front of the camera when they're kind of free to express and be themselves. I mean, the things that come out are things that you can't really make up, I think.
No. And what, because Hunter was 4 when you started?
Yeah, he was 4.5.
How was the process for him?
It was, well, I mean, it was sort of me trying to explain what shooting a movie is about, how you do it, and then also kind of asking him if he was interested in it, if he could, if he would. I mean, because kids will tell you, like, no, I don't want to do that.
And they don't do it.
Yeah. And he was always kind of interested in it, but he didn't really know what it was. So we did like little rehearsals and shot that. And yeah, I think he liked it, but then just doing the whole thing, of course it was sometimes he would get tired and then we'll have to sort of think of another way. And but for us, it was as sort of father and son, it was really a bonding thing. Also, we got very close doing that, traveling and
because how did the traveling
create stuff?
You traveled from where to where to?
Yeah, we started in Sweden and did 2 weeks there, or 10 days, I think, and then we went to Vienna and shot some scenes there, and then we took everybody, like the whole crew and parts of the cast, and just went in trucks to sort of the Alps and into Slovenia, and then down in Croatia, and we shot along the way, which is kind of a different way of doing things. Normally, I think nowadays you use service production companies along the way, and you just bring key people, and this was logistically and economically kind of challenging, but it was so rewarding because we could really stay in that world. Otherwise, we would have started anew every time. We had service sort of production co-producers that helped us, but they were sort of just backing us up along the way. The core group was the same.
And is it because one of the painful things about the film, of course, is there are thousands of Jimmys and there are thousands of children who lose their parents during their escape or pass away during the escape, die. Have you spoken to children for research for the film?
We did research for kind of a long time, but a lot of it was sort of recorded accounts or written, testimonies, and then we met some people in Sweden that have come there. But in the end, I think it was about not doing their story, but doing sort of a my own version of that, and just sort of it's not meant to be a total reflection of real people fleeing from Syria. It's meant to be sort of a, what if this was me and my son, and how would that look like, and it's just, you use naturally the things that are there in a way, and that happens, and as a sort of, this is a take on that, if you will. But then you got to, I felt like I got to be more personal about it too, and that'll be this version of.
Yeah, and how did it make you feel in the beginning as a white European to do this story? Did it make you feel uncomfortable as well at some point?
I mean, it's challenging, but I think art needs to be challenging, and it also needs to make you think, maybe provoke you a little bit, and it should not. There should not be sort of rules to say that you can't do this because you have a certain skin color. It should just be reflections of human beings in different situations. I mean, I truly believe that we are just all the same, and there's just circumstances that and luck and bad luck that create sort of regions or countries that are in where it's chaotic and dangerous, and there's really stable places. And I think I tried to sort of show that with the film.
Yeah.
It doesn't. There's nothing saying that it should be safe and stable in Sweden.
No.
Besides that, that it is. But for now.
Yeah, I was curious because during the film I noticed with myself, which I found interesting, that it succeeded. The film, that in the beginning it took me a while to really grasp that. Wow, they are really fleeting. Well, it's a film, of course. Yeah. They're not just backpacking. They're not going to a festival. It's the real deal. But I, of course, haven't experienced in my lifetime white people fleeing their country, right? Because it was Second World War, and I wasn't here yet.
Yeah.
So I thought it was very interesting. So I was curious if you had that feeling during the process.
Well, I wouldn't say it's wrong to say that I know what it feels like, because we were a film team, and I was a director and an actor, and I had my son, and it was just very intimate. But the whole idea of sort of traveling like that and carrying everything with you, I got glimpses, I would say, of sort of, this is extremely hard, like to drag your 4-year-old along a train track, and it's really warm, and you're carrying everything that you own. It's an epic feat to complete.
Yeah.
I would say, but I just got a glimpse of it. It's almost like stepping into those shoes for a few minutes here and there. But I think it was still a discovery, and it was still kind of educational, I guess.
And is it how? Because that would be interesting. Because I think everybody should see the film to have these feelings I had the entire process, and I think coming better out of it. But how do we get all those people who weren't yesterday at the screening, I think, at this international film festival, who maybe are very right-wing, extreme right-wing, to watch it, to experience this?
I don't know. I mean, I think everybody has something to gain and to grow from seeing things from another angle. And I mean, if it's somebody who needs to do that, it's people of sort of more extreme right-wing point of view, I think. I mean, if it's something they need, it's to see things from a different angle. I think they're really getting stuck on things.
Maybe everybody should bring their extreme right-wing uncle, so we can spread the word, the message.
Yeah. Just to bring your right-wing extreme uncle
to
the movies.
But bring him. Yeah, you don't have to talk.
Maybe you could do like a distribution thing that if you're really registered at a party like this, you can go for free.
Yeah.
And then we create sort of a complex thing. If you want to go for free, you got to register also with a party.
I will call you producer and suggest it.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy Rotterdam, and good luck traveling the world with the film.
Thank you.